Glad you're here equally. In fact, I can't do this without just the three of us together can make this thing happen. It's called synergy. You know how you have a teamwork, so to speak. The modern word for that is synergy. We have some handkerchiefs here. I have two for each of you. Feel free to examine them as much as you'd like. I think you'll agree there's nothing tricky about them. In fact, let me show one to the audience while you look at the other. The only thing about them is they are clean, which is unusual for me, and they are extra strong. They can't be broken, can't be torn, they don't rip. Made of that modern age synthetic material. Good enough over here, yeah? Okay. Now here's the idea, ladies. Together, meaning you, Monica, me, Holly, we're going to tie these together into a big circle. It's a very simple process, but we want to make sure we're doing it exactly correctly. So I will tie the knot. If you see me doing anything that you think is a little bit tricky, Monica, what I want you to do is shout out and say, hey, he's doing something tricky, and then I'll have the host come in and remove you from the theater. This is by definition 2 half-hitch knots, which makes a full...
doing something tricky.
Indeed, I might be doing something tricky. Let's make sure that knot is extra tight. Beautiful. Now, we're going to do the same thing on this side, and of course, Holly, in this case, you have an advantage because you know what's about to happen. We're going to do the exact same thing. You're pre-warned as pre-armed, okay? Don't feel left out about this, Monica, because you can look over my shoulder. It's amazing how many people think when they look from backstage, they're going to see something going on. That's called a half hitch. It's not a full knot. A full knot is when you make 2 of them together, and you pull it tight like that. Pull on those ends real tight. Excellent. You've done a superb job. You're not done yet. Let's see if we can make it a little bit tighter. And we're going to tie all 4 of these together, as I promised, into a circle. Takes a little bit of time, but it's definitely worth the results for the folks in the audience.
Hey, he's doing something tricky.
Does that look tricky to you, Monica?
No.
Does that really look tricky to you?
No.
Okay, I do. It's just a good gag and you run with it. I love that. Yes, okay. So what we've done is tied 3 knots, and to make a full circle, I guess you'd agree, we need a 4th knot at the very bottom. But we're going to depart with that because you're such an original personality. I want to try something that we hadn't thought. Knot number 1, knot number 2. This is knot number 3. Well, it is number 3, but it's called knot number 3. Does that make sense? I don't think it does. Hold these in one hand, just like that. Put the other hand on top, or they'll kind of want to drift out of your hand like that. And tonight, you get to do some magic. Have you ever done magic before? No. It's the easiest thing in the world when you know a magic word. Do you know any magic words? That's a good one. But the magic word does not work alone. We also use it in combination with a gesture, either snapping of the fingers or clapping of the hands. I trust you can snap your fingers?
Yes, I can.
And you can also clap your hands? So you have a wealth of opportunities. No, I bring that up because I've had entire audiences where no one knew how to clap their hands, and it means you're a dismal experience. So what's your preference? Magic word, clap your hands, snap your fingers. She's going to snap her fingers. I know you're thrilled by this entire thing. We have 3 knots. Snap your fingers 3 times.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good solid snap. Did you feel it happen, Holly?
No.
We'll just remove number 1. We'll remove handkerchief number 2. We'll take away number 3. All the knots must be left in number 4. Let's take a good look at that one. Indeed, there are no knots in that one either. That's nearly a miracle. It gets better. Snap your fingers just twice. You know what that does? Unties your shoes. You almost looked though. I got it. All right. The problem is, Holly, we have too many handkerchiefs. We're going to eliminate one. It's confusing. I'm going to give you back one of the handkerchiefs. I'm going to give you one of the handkerchiefs. I'll have it. It's just one for each of us, okay?
Okay.
The only problem with that little demonstration I did is I tied the knots, and although you verified they were good knots, I'm a tricky kind of guy. Just ask Holly over here. So you're going to tie the knot this time, okay? Yes. Any knot you like, left over right, right over left, it doesn't matter to me. That is superb workmanship. What do you call that kind of knot? You call it a regular knot. We're going to add yours to this. And again, you get to be creative on this side as well. If you will tie these 2 together for me, if you please. See if she ties the exact same kind of knot.